let's transition to a video of my ugly mug and my beard now for the modern games. Basically because I didn't record these as I played them, because I just played them for leisure instead of reviews. And yes, that may surprise you, I do actually play modern games. Having said that though, because of study and all that, finishing up all this year, I didn't have a lot of time. There's a few things I played throughout the year, and most of what I'm about to show you I've really played in the last month or so. So let's get to it. First off, and these are in no particular order by the way, these are just in the order I've stacked them next to me. And these are all on PS4 because that's what I have. So I recently played Rise of the Tomb Raider on PS4, and this was the 20-year celebration edition, and it was great to finally get this on PS4 as it came out on Xbox One last year I think, but because of Microsoft's basically endless pockets, it wasn't released until this year. But for those like me who waited, Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix, they really paid out for us. Because there's actually this 20-year celebration edition, and not only does it have the game, which is excellent, and I'll get to it in a second, but we've got this nice little thing that's kind of like a book. That's just random pamphlets, but it actually does, let's make sure that's in shot there, it does have like an art book built into it as well. So yeah, probably, I'm not really showing it that well, but it is unexpected and really cool, and I also got all the DLC with this as well that was gradually released over last year on the Xbox One. So that included a mission where basically you're just in Croft Manor, and it's sort of like a walk around point and click sort of adventure. Kind of basic, but the story was really cool and it's really atmospheric, and it's kind of cool just to wander around Croft Mansion as you want to. And then there was a few other things, but the game itself is really good. Like the actual gunplay is very fluid, a lot of fun. The cover system I found to be quite easy to use, which is very necessary for third-person shooters, I think, especially on consoles. The environments were just amazing. It's mostly based in Siberia, but the environments themselves aren't totally linear. They're quite, well, non-linear really, but they're not like totally non-linear. Basically, you'll go through certain parts of the game. Some parts are just straightforward. There's your corridor, while others will just give you this big environment where you can hunt and do side quests, do the tombs, of course. And yeah, it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. The characters and the story itself was a bit weak, I will admit. The story wasn't too bad. It was just a pretty sort of run-of-the-mill sort of story, but the characters themselves are very quite basic, and Lara Croft herself just whines and whinges the whole time. I mean, I love Lara Croft, she's a great woman, but God, she complains. Anyway, let's move along. This is actually the one I've most recently played out of this pile. I was up until yesterday. I'm actually still getting through all the side missions, but that is Watch Dogs 2. Now, a lot of people didn't really like the original, and I kind of see where they're coming from. I personally like the original, although kind of like Tomb Raider, the story and the characters were pretty substandard. Characters in Watch Dogs 2 are pretty over the top. I'm not gonna lie. They're very much like, yo, hacking man, fuck the man, hack everything. You know, they're really, you know, we are anonymous, although they're actually called DedSec. But yeah, that was the only thing I didn't like about the game, was the characters. The actual gameplay itself is very fun, and the environments, like Tomb Raider, is awesome. That's obviously totally non-linear, open world, but that's based around San Francisco, Silicon Valley, Oakland, and I think it's Marin, if that's how it's pronounced. But I like how it takes off all the tech companies, and I like to think I'm quite good with technology, that I know a bit, and the tech lingo in this game is actually pretty spot on, except for the big ridiculous 3D printer that prints you like guns and quadcopters and all that. And that's another cool thing, you can fly around a quadcopter as well as like a little remote control thing. So basically you can attack these levels any way you want, because you can use all sorts of technology, all sorts of hacking, but of course you can also just zoom in there with a quadcopter and figure out where all the enemies are, and hack laptops and servers and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, not for everyone. It's definitely not going to be for everyone like the first game, but it is a lot better than the first game. It's a lot funner. Characters are kind of shitty. Story was okay. Would recommend for the gameplay alone. Moving on. Uncharted 4. Now, I'm kind of not trying to pick favorites here, I'm just trying to go through them, but Uncharted 4, Amazing game. There weren't very many people who didn't like Uncharted 4, and I certainly wasn't one of those. I've always been a huge Nathan Drake and Uncharted fan, and this game is no different. The environments are just awesome. That seems to be a running theme, I think, out of all these games, is the awesome environments. The storyline was very good, up there with Uncharted 2 in my opinion, and the gameplay was up there with Uncharted 2, although the gunplay wasn't as great. I think Uncharted 2 had the best gunplay. Uncharted 3 definitely had the worst, because it was just completely not in your favor at all. It was unfair a lot of the times. Uncharted 4 was a little bit better, but the environments, the story, the puzzles, just basically the big environments it chucks you into, because there is a few parts that are very non-linear. My favorite one was Zimbabwe. Was it? No, not Zimbabwe. Africa? Was it Oh man, it's been 6 months since I've played it. But basically, where you're just driving around this Jeep, and it must be in Africa somewhere, and you're like, oh, there's some ruins, and you just hop out of your Jeep and you search the place for ruins, and there's enemies all over the place. A lot of fun. I would recommend playing the previous ones, maybe not the first ones, because that's kind of bad. I mean, it was a launch game, what can you say? But definitely, I mean, just maybe look up the storyline for that, or play it. There is a remastered one out there, however. Actually, if you haven't played this, go buy the remastered collection. I hear that's quite good, so you can play through the first 3, and then play Uncharted 4. I highly recommend. I could not recommend this game enough. Okay, so another game that not many people, well, there were a lot of people out there that did not like this, and that was Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Personally, I loved it. I really liked the original. I know a lot of people didn't. I thought it was fantastic. Just all the free running, all the puzzle solving, story and characters, yeah, a bit weak, but I still found it cool. Second one, storyline is definitely pretty weak, but just it's so fun running around the city with all the free running and all the just running around. Like the graphics are really good. I really enjoyed it. I can see why people didn't like it. It was a bit repetitive, a little bit generic even, when you say you compare it to the first game. But yeah, overall, quite liked it. I didn't really dig all the side missions. I thought a lot of that was just a lot of fluff included, probably just to extend the game, because the actual story mission isn't that long. I completed it in a couple of days, and that's probably one of the main downers of the game. I didn't really touch it after I finished the main storyline. But yeah, otherwise, those are my games of the year in the modern category. As I said, I'm playing catch up at the moment because I did finish studies and it was my final year, so it was pretty full on. But that's all done now, so hopefully next year it's going to be bulk playing games, bulk making videos. There are a few games that are still on my catch up list. I have them right now. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Yeah, sorry, the light was reflecting off it. I'm a big fan of all the other Deus Ex games. And I hear this one is quite good, better than that is Mankind Divided. Whatever the one before that was, it's not coming to me right now. But I did like that one, except for the boss fights, but hearing a lot of great things about that, so I'm looking forward to playing that. I will as soon as I finish off all the side missions in Watch Dogs 2, because there's a lot of side missions in that game. And I actually just bought this one today, Mafia 3. I thought Mafia 1 was a bit silly, really loved Mafia 2. So I'm hearing mixed things about Mafia 3. So yeah, anyway, that is it for this year. I can finally delete all the footage off my hard drive of all the gameplay I've recorded this year, because that's the only reason I keep it, is for this very video. And yeah, I just want to take this opportunity to say thanks for watching the entire year. You guys are great. Next year is looking really good, because I said I'm not studying anymore, I'm just working, so I have all this free time in the evenings just to make videos. I'm definitely going to be dedicating a lot of my spare time to Retro Game On. I'm about to hit 1,700 subscribers, really psyched. I'm also writing for GameCloud now, which is a Western Australian gaming website, if you didn't catch it in my last video, so check out that website. I currently have one review up, but that's only a volunteer position because they are a non-for-profit, but they, obviously I don't have to pay for the games. I write, and it's good exposure for me, and it's also cool to write for such a cool community website such as GameCloud. But yeah, I won't rattle on too long. I've already been going 9 minutes. So yeah, I will end this. Thank you so much. I shall catch you in the next video.